and welcome back to the Citizen channel. We're all staying safe and well, and welcome to another episode of the Streets Around Maine Road. Yes, I think we've done 8 so far. I think this is number 9. I lose track of all these guys over the months and years we've been doing these. We've got to, let's say episode 9. We've got to a certain Sam Cowan today we're going to have a look at. Of course, in 1977, the Manchester City Council at the time named a number of streets in the new estate in Moss Side after famous City players. I think there's been some developments in those sites now, and I think some of the streets don't exist anymore, but they certainly did back in 1977, so we'll continue our look, as I said, with Sam Cowan. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Everything's City, of course. City past, present and forever. So it'd be great to have you on board. Spread the word. And yes, if you can, you just find a little split second to push that little like button. It's much appreciated by an old City fan like me. Right, let's get on with this Sam Cowan then. We've looked at legends Fred Tilson, Billy Meredith, Tommy Johnson, Sammy Cookson, Frank Swift, Eric Brook, Jimmy McMullen and Horace Barnes. Yes. This one, there's a thing on the wall there, is, of course, Sam Cowan Close. It is, as I said, I've not checked whether it's still there or not, because, as I said, there's been a couple of developments since, but that's what it was in 1977 anyway. So please check out all my other little looks at the City legends around Maine Road as well, if you get a chance. There'll be links below, and obviously, any problems, just DM me, and I'll give you the links anyway. He was a centre-half who played in 3 FA Cup finals, managing to win one of them at least, so that wasn't too bad. A feat only equalled, actually, playing in 3 FA Cup finals recently with the likes of people like David Silver and Vincent Kompany, so it was a record that stood for a long, long time. Samuel Cowan, he was christened, was born on the 10th of May 1901 in Chesterfield, but moved with his family in his early years and was raised in Adwick Le Street near Doncaster. He didn't play football as a child, which is unusual, certainly for Chesterfield. I think it's a reasonably football area. He only gained an interest in the sport when he took part in a game at a local park aged 17. I believe he borrowed, or it's said he borrowed one boot off someone, so he played in one shoe and one boot, and still made an impression on his peers in that performance. He then started to play for local teams. He got a like for football, including Adwick Juniors, Bullcroft, Maine Colliery, and Denby United. He did have an unsuccessful trial at Huddersfield Town as well. Their loss, our gain eventually. He was 22 by the time he turned professional. In 1923, Cowan gained his first professional contract following a successful trial at his local club, Doncaster Rovers, who were then in the 3rd Division North. Despite playing as a defender during his time at Doncaster, he scored regularly as well, including a hat-trick of headed goals against Halifax Town in March 1924. Halifax, who were they? His performances gained the attention of the big clubs, and in December 1924, City was searching for a defender, a centre-half, wing-half if you like as well, and he joined City in December 1924. And he would go on to play centre-half for City for 11 seasons, but took on a wing-half position as well, or he liked to get forward. Perhaps in those, it was a sort of change in tactics in those days. He would always wear the number 5 shirt, except in 2 occasions. In the first season, he wore the number 4 away at Nottingham Forest. He actually scored that day. A bit more on that in a moment. And a certain Max Woosnam wore the number 5 that day. He also wore the number 16 shirt, yes, in the loss to Everton in the FA Cup final of 1933. Everton squad numbers were 1 to 11, and City wore 12 to 22, just to be different. A good description of him was that he's been described as being as tough as teak. So if you don't know what teak is, look it up. And he was also known as a renowned leader on the pitch. And as his brief stint at manager later on, of course, we're not going to particularly talk about that. We do a special on managers as well. A leader as a manager, which was quite unusual at that stage of football management. He made his Manchester City debut in a 2-2 draw against Birmingham on the 20th of December 1924 at Maine Road in front of 40,000 and scored his first and only goal that season for the club 2 weeks later against Notts Forest on the January 3rd in a 3-0 win at the City ground where, of course, Max Woosnam played number 5 and he played number 4. He played in all but one of the remaining league matches that season, 21 in total. and he started all but 4 of City's matches in the 1925-26 season. And Cowan was a key part of the team, of course, which reached the 1926 FA Cup final, his first one, but were beaten 1-0 by Bolton. He played in all of the 7 FA Cup games, and in his 38 league starts had scored twice in front of 62,994, the biggest crowd of the season, a 1-1 draw with United at Maine Road, and he also scored at Bramall Lane in front of what was, the lowest crowd to watch us, the lowest crowd of the season, 8,287, in an 8-3 loss to Sheffield United, 11 goal thriller. But further disappointment followed in the league. City were relegated on the final day of the season, losing our final game when a draw would have kept us up. But I think that's where the word, the old word, typical City first started to rear its ugly head. By this time, despite City's misfortunes, Cowan's reputation as a pretty competent, tough centre-back had grown. He received an international call-up. He made his England debut on the 24th of May 1926, playing an unfamiliar left half role. Yeah, not right. Number 4 is a right half. Number 6 was usually the left half. An unfamiliar left half role in a 5-3 win against Belgium. In the 26-27 season, Cowan made 27 appearances as City would deny promotion once again by the thinnest of margins, typical City. An 8-0 final home game win was not enough to take us up, and we finished third. He scored twice again at home to Middlesbrough in a 5-3 loss in front of 44,077, and in a 5-2 away win at Craven Cottage against Fulham in front of 20,503. We won the Second Division Championship the following season, 27-28, and the Second Division Championship was Cowan's first honour in professional football. We had 28 appearances in the league, 2 in the FA Cup, though we didn't get on the score sheet that season. In 28-29, missed only 4 league games, playing 38 plus 1 FA Cup appearance. His only goal came in a 3-2 win at Turf Moor against Burnley in front of 14,021. In 29-30, missed only 2 league games, and he scored again at Turf Moor, but this time at a 4-2 loss in front of 20,239. In the run to the FA Cup 5th round, he played in 5 games, scoring in a 2-2 draw at White Hart Lane against Tottenham. 37,000 were at that one. In a 1-1 draw where 23,697 saw the 1-1 draw at Swindon. On to 30-31, he featured in 40 of the 42 league games and in 1 FA Cup game. Another 2-goal season, a 4-1 loss at Ayresome Park against Middlesbrough in front of 12,661, and in a Maine Road draw with West Ham a 1-1 draw with West Ham with a crowd of 13,737. On to 31-32, 31 league appearances, but he managed 3 goals. West Bromwich Albion away, 18,956 at the Hawthorns, and a 5-2 loss to West Brom at Maine Road just 9 days later, in front of just 16,194. His third goal came in a 7-1 home win over Blackpool in front of 24,739. 5 games took us to the FA Cup semi-finals that year. It would get better, and he scored in a 4-3 win at Gig Lane in front of 28,035 against Bury. And 32-33 was his best season for scoring goals. He netted 4 in the league from 32 appearances. A 3-1 win against Portsmouth at Maine Road in front of 22,312. 45,916 were at Maine Road in a 2-2 draw against Sheffield Wednesday on Boxing Day when he scored. And 37,193 at the game. Yeah, they used to play 1 at home, 1 away. The game at Hillsborough at Sheffield Wednesday the day after Boxing Day, the 27th of December. He scored in a 2-1 loss in front of 37,193 at Hillsborough, and he scored a goal in a 2-1 win over Bolton at May Road in front of 19,144. And I said we'd go one better, didn't we? We went one better in the FA Cup, reaching the final. Cowan played in all 7 matches, scoring 2 goals on the run, including 2 in a 9-0 home win against Gateshead, yes, with a crowd of 22,590. And he led City out of Wembley as captain, wearing, as I said, the number 16 because of the squad numbers. And he was up against Everton's captain, Dixie Dean. Both players were renowned for their heading ability. Yes, he had a few battles over the years, City against Everton and these two. Matt Busby at the time claimed that Cowan could head a ball as far as most of us could kick it. And there were some I mean, there was some, I was just going to say some balls in those days, but those balls are unbelievably heavy. so quite impressive. Dean prevailed at least once in this Wembley final in the aerial battle because he scored a second goal with a header. And the Daily Mail observed that Dean's presence gave Cowan a bit of a dilemma. He was torn between a determination not to leave Dean and a desire to help his forwards. And Everton were 3-0 victors on the day, so perhaps Cowan couldn't find the right balance between the two. When a disheartened Cowan received his runners-up medal from the Duke of York, he remarked that he would come back next year to win. Would he? Well, I think he would. I think we know that. On to 33-34. This will be his penultimate season. He played in 32 league games, 3 goals to his name. 33,343 were there to witness a home win 3-1 against Blackburn, in which he scored. He also scored against Stoke with a crowd of 20,075 in a 4-2 home win and a 4-0 home win in the last game of the season at Maine Road against Wolves, a crowd of 33,368. But finally, it wasn't the league, it was the FA Cup that he was there to see glory. And true to Cowan's word, last season City returned to Wembley to win it for the 1934 FA Cup final. Became the first City player to represent the club in 3 FA Cup finals, as mentioned earlier. Only been replicated very recently. He played in all 8 FA Cup games and in the final captained City to a 2-1 victory over Portsmouth and received the cup from King George V. And he led City despite having a painful toe. Yeah, he had something called a poisoned toe at the time, and it kept him up most of the nights trying to soak it and keep it under wraps. But so not too bad considering his toe was a bit poorly. Cowan's final season at Maine Road was 1934-35, in which he was ever present in all 42 league games. But it probably tired him out because he didn't score any goals that season. And he just made the 1 FA Cup appearance. Yes, our defence of the FA Cup didn't last long. We fell at the first hurdle when Spurs beat us 1-0 in the third round. His final match for the club was a 5-0 defeat of Wolverhampton Wanderers on the 4th of May 1935 in front of only 13,899 at Maine Road. It was, you got some massive crowds and you got some lower crowds. There's always reasons, of course, costs, etc., weather, that sort of thing. That was a season where we actually had our highest ever league crowd. Only United playing at Maine Road bettered it a couple of times, and that was the 79,491 crowd against Arsenal. So, as I say, only 13,899, sadly, at his very last game. He'd made, there's always a slight discrepancy with this. I make it about 406 appearances and scored 24 goals. Internationally, of course, he got caps. He only gained 3 England caps, so between 26 and 31, 1926 and 1931. His caps came against Belgium, as mentioned, also France and Austria. He also made appearances for the Football League team. Bradford City signed Cowan for a fee of £2,000, a princely sum in those days, in October 1935. At the time, the transfer fee was the second highest ever paid by Bradford. The City fans weren't impressed. Over the years, as many players had left City, and we weren't impressed, but he was probably getting to the end of his career by then. He went into management, of course, first as a player manager at Mosley. He also played for Brighton. Just the once, though, I think. He'd only joined him on the coaching staff. He actually played in a wartime game for Brighton at the age, it's about 44 and 156 days, I think it was. So not bad. He set up his own physio business in Brighton, near to the Goldstone ground where Brighton used to play. And in November 1946, this isn't what this vlog's about, but he came back to manage Manchester City, succeeding Wilf Wild, and he won another second division title that he'd done as a player, as a manager, and the very first to both play and manage City, of course. Cowan resigned in June 47 as his commute from Brighton caused tension with club officials who weren't happy about how much time he was spending at Maine Road. So much, again, to the anger of the City fans. He didn't have many games in charge, but his win ratio was up there with Pep, so that's probably why the fans were a little bit upset. He later worked as a physiotherapist for cricket club Sussex CCC. I think he went on tour with the MCC as well. And he actually did some physio for the ice hockey team, the Brighton Tigers. He died, sadly, on the 4th of October 1964, aged 63. He suffered a heart attack, after refereeing a football charity match in aid of Sussex wicketkeeper Jim Parks. I believe Tommy Steele was played. It's quite a high-profile charity match as well, but he died, sadly, in the changing rooms after the game. He was elected to Manchester City's Hall of Fame in 2004. So they go Sam Cowan, says playing honours, an FA Cup winners medal in 1934, a couple of runners-up medals, 26 and 33, and of course the second division playing winners medal from 1927-28. Plus, of course, he added the manager one later. So please, thank you. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that. I was going to say, like, any memories of Sam Cowan? I don't know. Very doubtful anyone out there would have any memories, but your dads or your granddads might have had words about him. Let me know anyway if you've got any thoughts about Sam Cowan, who of course holds a very special place in Manchester City's history. I hope you enjoyed this look. Sam Cowan, another City legend from around the streets of Maine Road. Join me again soon. It'd be great to hear from you. Till we meet again, and that's one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.